Hello and welcome to Getting Started with Vue. Now, this is a course I've been wanting to make for a long time now. I've been working with Vue for a couple different projects, and I'm really liking the simplicity it brings to a project. Let's get all this good foundational stuff out of the way so that we can start coding in some good old Vue. The first question, obviously, is what is Vue? Now, Vue is a progressive JavaScript library, and you can also call it a framework, actually. And that's what makes it progressive. It can go down from being a library where you can just drop it onto a current project, include the script tag, and it can go all the way up to being a full framework if you want to be building a single page application that's completely and purely JavaScript. We'll talk about this progressive JavaScript library slash framework a lot more in this course, and you'll see exactly what I mean when we start to get into examples. Now, why would you use Vue? So Vue is really great because of its simplicity. If you're coming from a jQuery or a JavaScript background and you haven't really messed with any of the libraries, frameworks like React, Angular, Ember, and those sorts of things, Vue is a really, really great place to get started because of its simplicity. It's easy to jump into Vue from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and from what I see, that's where a lot of these Vue developers are coming from, is from HTML, CSS, JavaScript world where they're building websites and now they want to get into larger scale JavaScript applications. It's incrementally adoptable, which is what makes it progressive. You can go down to a library, up to a framework, super, super fast, very lightweight. It's 20 kilobytes minified and gzipped. When you compare that to something like jQuery, which is 32 kilobytes minified and gzipped, you're getting a lot of features for a little bit less payload, which is really great. And one of the really great reasons to use Vue is because of the data manipulation that it provides. And we'll see this a lot because it is a foundation for using Vue. The data manipulation, which kind of models itself after the MVVM model, model view, view model. And that goes a little bit farther into the technical side, but just be aware that it takes inspiration from that architecture. Now let's talk a little bit more about that progressive. What is progressive? And we talked about it a little bit. You can go down from having it as just a library, a Vue library, where you can use it to data bind a couple things on a page. Progressive means that we can start with the Vue engine, and that's the simplest way to use Vue. And we'll see that in our Hello World example coming up really soon. And then once you want to get into larger scale applications, you can add routing and JavaScript routing for single page applications. That's when you see applications that kind of route themselves and move between different pages and you don't even see a page refresh, right? It just comes in and pulls in new data from a new page and it's all on the same single page application. When you want to build larger scale single page applications, you can start bringing in the CLI, which is the command line interface tools. And we won't be using those in this course because I want to keep this as beginner as we can. We will, though, in the next few courses. Speaking of next few courses, we'll even bring in something like state management, which is Vuex, and that's going to be more advanced Vue techniques. And then we can even add unit testing, and you can start to see how this is a progressive application where we start with a Vue engine right here at the top, and this is the simplest way we can use it. And slowly but surely, as our applications get bigger and bigger, we can add in more and more. The one we'll focus on here is starting with the Vue engine, and this course is going to be modeled around learning all about the foundations of Vue so that we can move forward and do all these great things after. Eventually, once you start to learn all the great parts of Vue, you can build a full single page application really easily. Now, the thing I like about Vue is if you have a web app like this and you have a bunch of different parts, let's say this is a header, a footer, sidebar, content, and let's say a commenting module. The cool thing about Vue is you can just drop it into an already existing application. So we can just drop it in and start working with it there. And this is what we'll be doing here. We're going to have an HTML page and we'll just drop in Vue. So Vue really is freedom of choice. You can go from library up to framework, all those great things, build really cool applications, and all with a very, very simple syntax. So let's start moving forward. We'll get into our Hello World lab next, and we can start building with Vue.